This meeting, all the meetings of the council are open to the public. Proper notice has been posted and given to the press in accordance with Wisconsin statutes, so the citizenry may be aware of the time, place, and agenda of this meeting. Call the meeting to order with a roll call.
Nadowski?
Here.
Rasmussen?
Here.
Kempf is not present.
Next, we'll look to get a motion to, or I'll make a motion actually, to approve the December 14 minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Citizens' appearances, we do not have any. And now we go into the number 4 municipal building contract update for contract C15.
Contract C15, pay request number 6 is on the agenda for approval tonight. The contractor has completed and stored today roughly $1.13 million of the $2.6 million contract. So they are just short of 50% of the contract to date. And today's pay request is $108,276.25. They are on schedule for their completion, or just a hair behind, but not much. So with the nice weather in the fall, they got quite a bit done.
Okay. Any notes on it? Anything that was found in review? No.
Not this time.
Okay.
No, the big thing would be we've been looking to get a tour before one of these meetings, and we've also tied that up with getting stairs to the building, because right now it's a series of ladders that isn't the most friendly for sending crews or
Right.
groups through. So
Yep.
Okay.
just a quick update is the fire department last week had taken a tour at night, and Brandon had led it, because Brandon's been in with me every Thursday he works, lines up with the Thursday that the city hall construction meeting is. So he's been in after every meeting, he's been through. Right before they start drywalling is when the fire department wanted to get in and take a look at what's inside the walls.
What the barriers
best as
are.
they could. Yeah, so electrical, all that setup. So it sounds like they did take a good tour through, and
Good.
that's about what we got right now.
No concerns out of it?
No.
Good.
No,
Good.
no.
All right. Well then, while we're on that, I'll make a motion to approve pay request number 6 on contract C15 for $108,276.25, contingent upon receipt of lien waivers.
Yes.
I'll second.
All right. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 And the other item is the pay request for owner direct purchases. That's the tax savings. And the owner direct purchases at this point in time for this month is $152,506. And there is a list of all the invoices that have to be taken care of. So,
And in that's all reviewed as well
yes.
through the contract.
Yep, they both are. And
Good.
just a quick update too, because we do have credit cards, and because we get a roughly 1% kickback on those cards, some of these vendors accept credit card payment, so we're saving the sales tax, but then we're also able to get another 1% on. And I think off this last one, it was roughly $25,000 to $30,000
Oh, nice.
worth of payments we made by credit card that then we get to keep 1% of that back. So it's a little bit more, not a ton, but
Yeah.
a little bit more. As long as they don't charge a fee, and then we end up backwards where we pay more than we would normally.
Yeah.
So
All right. I'll make a motion to approve the owner direct purchases for a total of $152,506.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. Next, we have discussion on municipal building furniture, phones, appliances.
this is just a quick update. The phone system, we have to add out some extra phones. This is sort of just a moving item or a continuous item. Just to give you an update, we do have to purchase phones. We have quotes from Heartland on what those phones would be. We just have to determine what model and at what
And
locations.
do we have to change these ones out, or
Nope,
is it just
it'll be the-
additional?
It's the same system that we're gonna, just like the server here,
Yep.
where we have a system that we're gonna move to the new building and then just build out on
It's
it.
just for the additional.
So now we just have to add phones where the system's already in place.
Good.
Appliances, we're looking at a refrigerator range in the kitchen area of the community room, a refrigerator and there's like an employee break room, lounge, not lounge, but employee, break type area.
Yep.
There's a fridge there. And then,
Are the
Microwave.
yeah.
I mean, stuff like that, right?
Some of the stuff we
Your
have
basic-
now, but we're looking at, like the fridge and the range.
well, the community room one, is that one got any special requirements because of what they're planning to use it for, or?
What they
what are we
basically
looking
told us
for?
is that they're not preparing food there, they're warming food. And so a typical range should be good enough for what they're looking for.
Okay, we
So
ran that
it's-
by them then?
Yeah, we've had some discussion with them, and the discussion continues on having them just move to the building in general. And so we don't have a full commitment from them that they're actually moving,
Mhm.
but the thought is that at some point they will. So, yeah, we're still,
Does that change the requirements then at all when they do that?
the big thing is, the base bid on this project is not to construct a commercial kitchen. So, in general, what we're looking at is it's a basic set of appliances that we're assuming would go in there anyway. And if there's anything that changes from that, and we had been talking to them, so we didn't get really any indication that they need a commercial kitchen to prep food. Their big thing was that food will be prepped elsewhere, brought here, and then warmed up.
Okay.
Or it's brought here warm and then it's just served, so.
I guess the only other thing I think of is that if you have a catered event there, is there any requirements, you know, like ovens, things like that, that maybe we want to consider up front rather than get too far down the
You get too far with the use of the kitchen, it's a whole different set of Department of Commerce standards that you have to deal with.
Okay.
Which I think that we went through that in design, and the situation with design was to have a warming kitchen and not a commercial.
Okay.
We gonna have that area wired for a stove,
Yes.
Yeah.
220?
Oh, yeah.
Yep, and a fridge, I think even
Okay.
on the other fridge, we've got a water line that's included for ice and all that too. So I mean,
Okay.
it's as part of the plans, we had planned on having these appliances in, we just didn't, we had the city have to purchase those things.
Okay.
There's that. The furniture we're looking at right now, we're getting quotes. I'm waiting on one other vendor, and I think we're gonna have either 3 or 4 sets of quotes on desks. We're looking at 2 desks we need to acquire. Lobby furniture, community room, chairs and tables. Now, we had a little bit of a discussion on that a couple months ago. But we're going to have quotes for you in February on those furniture items. The other 2 items relate to alternates. So when we bid out the project, we bid out for these general contractors to provide lockers in the basement. And we rejected that because we thought we could get a better price. And as part of collecting quotes for these lockers, we've asked these same subcontractors to provide us basically what they provided to the generals. You know, so now it's running through the city rather than just the contract, in an effort to get quotes based on what we spec'd. What we thought was potentially we could save a markup that Immel might have had in there. But what I'm finding is that the quotes that people are getting us now are actually higher than what they were a year ago. That's on lockers and it's on the display cases too. So what we're looking at is obtaining other quotes for display cases, and then the other thing we can do on the lockers is get other quotes on the lockers, but also maybe re-examine the specs on those lockers too. So we might be looking at $15,000 to $20,000 lockers. We just don't know it yet. You know, maybe you can drop down to a different type of locker.
Yeah.
But we had some pretty extensive discussion on what we wanted to get out of those lockers, and then that's what was reflected in the specs that we bid out too. You know, they were duty lockers as opposed to like a school
Right.
locker.
Right.
So we're still collecting quotes on that too. That'll come back through you guys yet. And again, it's in February. The good news with the lockers and the display cases is that we can have the building function right away without having those things installed. You know, we can still get them after. And also to add on the appliances, we're looking at a washer and dryer in the basement for the laundry. So that's that's the other item. So that's, again, it's just an update. There's a lot of things that we're still looking at there, collecting quotes on, and I'm hoping that in February we've got it, because in February we're roughly 2 months away from having the building ready to move in. So what we're getting on the lockers and the display cases is that it's roughly 6 to 8 weeks from the moment we tell them go to the moment that they show up and get installed. So it lines up pretty nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay?
Very good. Thank you.
All right. Next, we have discussion and action, possible action on the fire and ice contribution, which
Yep.
What
So
did
you,
they
you
ask for
did,
this year? I can't remember.
well,
was-
they've asked that you contribute, and Mark Bayman had been here to talk about it again. And I think every winter he comes, we get there's a letter that shows up in their booklet, and what we've contributed the last couple of years has been $700. And in a way, we end up getting that money back because we do not give them a discount or give them any of the water that they put out there to make the ice. And technically we can't because the utilities are governed a little bit more strictly. So the last couple of years, we've approved a $700 payment. That doesn't bind you from year to year, but part of the discussion on why that would get approved is because Fire on Ice turns around and gives back a lot of their proceeds to multiple groups in the community. And so just on my end, just a little bit of history. I know the council had said the $700 or whatever you give to them ends up coming back to multiple organizations. Not that we've set up like a de facto primary beneficiary here, but it's somebody that,
Yeah.
obviously there's a lot of people that come to town. It's now a 2-weekend event. I think that was last year that it started. It's not just one weekend in February, it's now 2.
Oh, nice.
So I think last year it was like right about, temperatures were like this. It was like 0 and -2, so we're hoping that it gets a little bit warmer. So, but that's,
Make it nice.
Yeah, it's
that's
good
what
to
they're
make it
looking
nice.
for. Again, Mark Bayman came to the full council, asked that you continue that. We do have it sitting, it's in the budget, it's built into the budget numbers, if you would
You
approve
have
it.
the 700?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
so I'll make a motion to approve $700, $700 contribution to Fire and Ice.
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
All right, discussion and possible action on insurance recommendation.
So we have, in your packet, you have some letters. There is an individual had filed a claim on West Wisconsin Street. They filed a claim because right at the base of their driveway, not at the sidewalk, the sidewalk's in good shape there, but it's the lip of the gutter into the road. It was an older individual taking a stepped into, I believe it was maybe 1.5 to 2 inches, a little bit of a dip at the end of their gutter. And there's a measurement on one of the pictures there that they had submitted. But they filed a claim, and in the claim, they had asked for reimbursement of medical expenses because there were some significant lacerations and stitches were required. And it was during a family reunion or right before, so it was not an ideal situation, not an ideal time. Not that there ever is, but in the claim they had filed for medical expenses, and then they also asked for some other compensation in there too. And what I had done is I had sent this to our insurance company to review it for a potential recommendation to send to you. Their recommendation is that you deny the claim, and when you deny the claim, the thought here is that the insurance company, when they did their review, they looked at the situation in the road. They had asked if we had any documented communications where we had been made known that this could probably happen at that situation, or at that location. And on our end, checked with Becky, Katrina, everyone in the office, we didn't have anything that said in writing or otherwise that said, we need you to fix this so that something like this doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying that this is a good situation at all. It's unfortunate for sure. But when our
Yes.
insurance company takes a look at this, what they look at is, did the city have any liability related to this situation there? And what they're saying is, no. But what our insurance company has is they do have a medical, and it says in the letter, so you have a letter from Statewide Services which recommends that you disallow the claim. And then it also says that the insurance company will be telling the claimant that they're recommending that the city disallow the claim, and they're also going to offer to pick up or reimburse medical expenses for this. And our insurance company will not just come out and say how much, and I think I even had struck on this letter in your packet, but the amount is, this
Okay.
amount is what they would reimburse. And so according to the breakdown that was filed in the claim, the this should cover the medical expenses. But what our insurance company is gonna ask for is documentation, invoices, those types of things
Yep.
for reimbursement. So that would be offered, what our insurance company would offer then is a release that would settle the issue. But on your end, to get it to where our insurance company would be called to action, the recommendation from the city council would be to disallow the claim. And again, that's a recommendation from our insurance company telling us what's the best route to take.
Okay.
So there's no motion to be made here.
You
The
would
letter's
have
already
to
been
make,
sent.
Well, it hasn't
so
been
the
sent.
letters, you have the letter that they sent to us, and you have the letter that they sent to the claimant. And in the letter that they sent to the claimant,
Right.
they tell them that they're advising the city to consider disallowing the claim.
Correct.
So, but then you have to formally take the action of either you take that recommendation and you disallow the claim, or you don't. So again, and not disallowing the claim would mean that you would be open to contributing directly
Yeah.
or considering something like that. But in order to kick in the insurance coverage that we do have, what they're recommending you do is to disallow the claim.
However, the city is. Okay, no, it does clearly state that as well, though.
Yes.
That's,
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that the wording was right in the letter that they had sent to the claimant, and basically it states that, the city of Weyauwega does, however, have the, premise med pay coverage, which can offer to pay out-of-pocket medical expenses. It's a supplemental coverage, that we have, regardless of fault or liability.
Yep.
And that they just need to, yep, copies of the medical bills, explanation of benefits for insurance. Okay.
Yep.
So we do have, that section of the road we did take a look at, we've done some pavement repairs around some manholes there.
Mm-hmm.
But what we are gonna look at doing is, considering that topping on the road there, the surface itself, see what we could do there. The distinction in what triggers our insurance is that, to the best of our knowledge, we didn't have any documented requests on getting out there and fixing that. Now, in the claim, they had mentioned that a couple times they had contacted the city and that somebody had told them that they would look into it. And in my review and investigation with city staff, we don't have that at all on file. And that means that might have happened, we don't have a time frame on that. You know, when that may have occurred, it might have been before everyone that works here now, which, I mean, it's only a couple of years. But, again, it's something that our insurance company says, you know, the city probably doesn't have the liability there, in this
Yeah.
case, you know, statutory liability. But they do have a supplemental program that can offer to pay. And really what happens then is, the claim itself asks for medical expenses, and it asks for other compensation.
Yep.
It's the other compensation then that wouldn't,
Yeah.
that wouldn't be, I guess, compensated. But
Um,
again, that's, to the best of our knowledge, we don't have that
Yeah.
contact or the prior notice that this could happen at that location. You know what I mean?
Yep. I guess my one question before we move forward with this, or one statement, I guess, before we move forward with this, is that if for whatever reason we don't have a very robust process, I guess, for taking those claims and making sure that any of them do get documented,
Yeah.
from this point forward, we look to make sure we have that established. So even if it's a phone call to whoever, then they have to do this, this, and this to make sure that it's documented in an area where it's on the server, so that way if somebody's gone or somebody decides to leave, at least we can track it, because I understand we don't have anything to go off of, and it kind of is what it is at this point, but.
And to back up onto the Public Works meeting, when we talked about getting our Public Works employees with email access that they have, that would be the benefit, that too, is that we can email out, Becky and Trina can say, here's the call I got, please take a look. Sort
So
of
we can have that to
establishes a
track
track
it.
record already, rather than, right now, you know, we try to get that documented in email because that stays out there and we hold on to that. But if somebody calls and then it's just a verbal, hey, go check it out, or there's a handwritten note that you try to get to somebody, it's,
Yeah, so then they'll be able to do the phone call and a follow-up email or something like that.
right,
Okay.
right, yep.
We just say make sure that that's a process then.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's really a liability issue, because if we don't do that, we're,
Okay.
you know,
That's
we're
right.
being negligent in a way if anything else would pop up where we don't handle it, so.
Okay.
Okay,
So.
do we have a motion either
Not
way on
yet.
that?
I'll make a motion to,
Recommend to disallow the claim?
disallow the claim
Based on our.
based on, yeah, the fact that the insurance is gonna cover the medical,
And it's based on the insurance recommendation
no,
too.
insurance recommendation.
Mhm. Okay,
I'll second.
okay,
All right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
okay.
All right.
But for the record, let me state that
Yeah.
my heart goes out to Darlene Buchholz for her event that she had to endure. I know
Definitely.
that if that was my mother, I would feel a great deal of emotion on it as well. But I hope that our supplemental plan that we have here will be able to assist her through her financial struggles on her treatment.
Yeah,
Agreed.
most definitely.
All right, next we have on the list, make a motion to approve checks 31934 through 31995, totaling $775,982.80, and the monthly financial statements.
I'll second that.
All right, need a roll call?
Yep. Nadowski,
Aye.
Rasmussen.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, administrators report.
We are, again, construction. We're working on the City Hall project. We still have the every other week meetings. We are looking at like a mid-April target date for a move-in, which is very good. That's gonna get us just past the elections, and that would be the segue then. We do have, the general election is the first Tuesday in April. There's a primary that we'll have in February, and the primary, I believe, is for the Supreme Court justices. There's a primary that's required.
Cool.
For the local races, we have Shani Appleby, who's running for re-election in Ward 2. She's unopposed. In Ward 3, we did not have anyone file their papers, and so that will be an open seat. Essentially, it will be a write-in. Whoever has the most write-in votes will be elected. And then in Ward 1, we do have two individuals that had filed. Bruce Brunner had decided not to seek re-election, and I should back up and say Mr. Rasmussen has decided not to seek re-election. But in Ward number 1, we do have Rich Lidke and Ben Ebert, who had both taken out papers. And again, Bruce Brunner had decided not to seek re-election at this time. So that's where we're at with the local races.
I thought there was a candidate in Third Ward.
There was one who had considered taking out papers and then didn't get them in on time, so.
Oh,
Yep.
that person's still taking a different path?
Not sure,
Yeah.
not sure, not sure. And then the only other update I'll just give you is that with the financial software upgrade, we're going to run payroll on the new financial software this week. And then we're gonna start paying bills, I believe, in 2 weeks. We're still running them out of both systems.
Yeah.
But payroll, we do have Workhorse coming here on Wednesday to just run it in the new system.
Nice.
The
Good.
utility billing, because balances carry over, that's gonna be a little bit more in-depth. But the first time that we bill for this year is gonna be like the second week of February, so we have some time yet until we turn that on. But the intent
Good.
is that we'll get that turned on too.
Good.
And so we're hitting, the hope was that in January, the beginning of January, we'd get on the new Workhorse software, and we're right about in line with that. It's just some timing on how we use each is what's dictating when we actually turn it on live. So it's going well. But for the first 2 months, we're probably gonna run both systems, just so that we double check to make sure that each one of them is working.
Mhm.
So the effort to do the utility billing, the payroll, paying the bills is gonna be a little bit more, just to make sure that the new software is up and running.
So for our next audit, is it gonna be in Workhorse?
Yep, all of it will be in Workhorse, which
Nice.
is something that our auditors deal with on a regular basis, where this is,
That should give us some brownie points then.
yeah, oh yeah, they were in once already, so they, on the pre-audit work, the auditors came in at the end of December, they were happy about that. They're also happy that, there's not any additional accounting work that they need to come in to try to work on, which is something that in the last couple of years, they've had to come in a little bit more before they come in for the full audit. So they came in December, and then we won't see them again until the first week in March, when they
Okay.
come in for the actual official audit, so. But with that, we've had a lot of construction, a lot of TID creation, there's a lot more technical work that
Yeah. well,
they'll be sifting through, but a lot of that's sort of off the financial software, it's more structurally what we've been doing, so.
Okay.
but- And that's about all I've got.
All right.
That's a lot, Patrick. Good job.
Yeah,
Thank you
yeah,
very
cool,
much.
yeah, yeah.
It's a lot of
Thanks,
stuff.
yep.
Thank you.
February will be 6:30 on the, what was it, the 8th? you said?
Eighth, yep.
5 o'clock tour.
Or,
See.
5 o'clock tour of City Hall.
yep. 5:30 Public Works and
6:30,
immediately following
Yep.
Finance. Maybe even a public property in the middle.
No, I think we should be good because the property is now, we're buying and selling the properties that we've been talking about buying or selling, so
Yeah,
should be good for a little while.
I hope so. All right, other such matters?
I don't have any right now, but I would actually probably ask that well, maybe we can go into closed session for, shouldn't be too long. Make
Okay.
it quick. I'd hope, something I'd probably want to talk to the city council about as we look towards 2016.
Mhm.
But I could give just a quick note to you guys,
Okay.
so.
So I'll make a motion to go to closed session pursuant with 19.851C Wisconsin statute. Consideration of employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation is data of any city employee who is subject to jurisdiction and authority of the council. The reason for the closed session is discuss and review administrator's goals. Committee may choose to reconvene an open session at the completion of the closed session in order to take action on items from the closed session. Need a second.
So you made the motion?
Yep.
I'll second.
Yeah, I went right into it. Roll call.
Nadowski,
Aye.
Rasmussen,
Aye.
7:39.